the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning. Oh, baby. Oh, 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 oh. Stay with me where the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning, 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 until the day the world stops spinning.
Shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, 'cause I got a thing to claim. Think that I'll crumble, I'll show you in the slide. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, 'cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster I came to conquer. When all the smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, 'cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's set in motion, the legend's spoken. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, 'cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster I came to conquer. When you see me coming, better run for cover. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. They're looking at us, an audience. Keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this. Yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they all say. They think we're out of control.
are those moments I don't think anybody else is going to forget.
It's day 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2020 Masters Championship, and we've got another day of action-packed games. Day 1 winded down with some interesting finales throughout the day with Mouse Sports against tyloo, which was a relatively quick affair, but not as quick as G2 up against 100 Thieves. And of course, all the teams are battling out for their lion's share of $500,000, and of course, the Pro Tour circuit points. I'm Jason Kappen. I got an upgrade today. I was trying to say something a little bit different. The upgrade in terms of hair, 100%. I think it's like 300% increase because he's got hair not only here, but he's got it here. How you doing today, Wolfie?
Yeah, I'm good. Tom Biz has warned me about you, and I've already had some things thrown at me. So, yeah, I'm feeling good, and we've got some really good games as well to be watching today.
Well, we can put the games aside. I'm curious, what did he warn you about? No, let's not get into that. We do have some great games today. We have obviously 2 streams going on. We have the main stream over at A, live in Katowice, Poland, and we have the B stream here, live in Cologne, Germany. As you can see behind us, we're technically inside the ESL office. If you see people walking behind us, stare at them, screenshot it, send it to me. I'll make sure to send it to them and like say, hey, you were on TV, and try to embarrass them the best I can. But yeah, we've had some crazy matches yesterday. We're going to have some crazy ones today, and we're starting to get it to really ramp up here because it's all about qualifying through into the playoffs, playing on the main stage in the Spodek Arena. If you get through out of the group in the top seed, you go straight to the semifinals. If you get through it all, you go into the quarterfinals. But everyone's eyeing to play on that stage because it is a thing of beauty.
I mean, the pictures never really do it justice, right?
Sure.
You look at it and it's just insane. I cannot wait for when I eventually manage to get out there to see it. But it is a busy, busy day, and we've got our first round of eliminations coming up as well. So there's teams who are going to be going home today, after only being through, 2 days of games, 2 best-of-3s, and they're already gone. So there's tons on the line as we get into the games.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, is that people obviously criticize, like, oh, best-of-1s to start things off with. You win, like, 2 best-of-1s, and if you're potentially through into, like, the main stage, it's kind of unfair. But it's a best-of-3s the entire way through. And if you missed out on yesterday's games, I have to ask, where the hell were you, first of all? Because you should be watching here right now. And, of course, watch the VODs if you missed out on yesterday. But we'll kind of recap what went down. Let's take a look at the brackets so you get an idea of how the groups really broke down, what teams went through into the upper bracket, and which teams, unfortunately, fell down towards the bottom. Over on the B stream, we did start things off with Astralis and Cloud9, and yeah, 2-0, kind of expected. We did see some life within Cloud9, though, on Train, but Overpass was definitely not their map.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because there's a lot of things going about Cloud9 and their Overpass and how strong they are on that map, and it just didn't quite show. It really looked like the nerves were starting to set in. MOTM missing a lot of spray downs, and there were sort of those small missed opportunities across the board for Cloud9, giving Device that 4K on the 5-7, all those little opportunities that you can't be giving to one of the best teams in the world, right?
Yeah, and then we had NIP up against Team Vitality. That was the first match over on the A stream. And funny enough, if I were to tell you, I guess in 99 games out of 100, I'm like, who's the top performer on Vitality? Who would you say?
tyloo.
Yeah, the one time he wasn't, though, as we did see there, it was actually going to be Alex. He went 51-33 at a 1.43 rating, though Zywoo was kind of hot in his heels at 45-34. So there was definitely close, but it was interesting to see, someone else be able to step up within the team right there. And of course, you had some other results as well across the board. We had Renegades Fnatic. That one, Fnatic's way 2-0, though it did take a massive comeback on Inferno of 10 rounds straight for them to claw things back for Fnatic. We still got to see some vintage JW in there. Dexter, we got to see it perform, decently well in some really annoying angles, as Tom was talking about. And then I believe the last game we had that you were casting was Mouse Sports and tyloo.
Yeah, and that one, unfortunately, was ever so slightly a blowout. Inferno was all too easy for Mouse Sports. They made it look all too simple. And then the second game, it almost felt like tyloo started to believe in themselves and then immediately lost that belief, right? They got a few rounds on the board. They started to look like the old team that we know and love. And then it just fell apart at the seams, and it really was unfortunate because you thought for a split second they might be able to steal the map, which is good for them given how they got to be here.
Yeah, and then of course, what Zeta was on the team, brought in for Abentet, who left over to Gen G, and it just didn't seem like things were really melding for the team. You know, obviously, language barrier is massive. They did have a boot camp over in Kiev before going to this event, so they had the opportunity to work on that and improve. There were some signs of life, but obviously, it's Mouse Sports, right? And they're like basically one of the best teams in the world at the moment with their recent 4 tournament victories. But then the last game of the day, we had Na'Vi FaZe go very long and extended. We didn't really touch on it too much. That ended 2-1 in favor of Na'Vi. But if you missed out on the 100 Thieves G2 esports match, well, let me just give you a quick recap of what went down.
As they make their way towards T-spawn, as are aware of the fact that this team likes to push, they could be in towards that position if possible, but unfortunately for G2, they've held up. Still a 5-on-3. Smoke down towards Xbox, makes it a bit more problematic for Nexus. So does the flashbang. He needs at least 2 kills to have a chance in the round. There's the first, not bad at all. There's the second, it's working out. Let's go, Nexa! My goodness gracious me, he's pulled it off. We said he needs 2, he somehow gets 4.
I just squealed like a pig.
Squealed like a pig machine. And who wouldn't in that situation? Let's go, Nexa. The 4K 1Deegs. That has to get you so pumped, so excited. But that's basically the story of how the match went for G2 up against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, everything went wrong, right? I mean, I was looking at the stats for it, and Hunter had a 1.77, which is just practically unheard of. He went absolutely insane. And he came out in the interview afterwards, it came out this morning, that he said, we're going to win Mirage 16-3 because I need to pee. So he just went off, won the game, because he needed to go.
I wish we had the ability as commentators to do that. Let's just end the game now because I have to go to the bathroom. But that's why we have bottles, lovely bottles under the desk. But we're not going to go too far into that because the buckets, I don't think they've arrived just yet, unfortunately. But again, we've talked about, obviously, the games that happened yesterday. We have quite a few matches come up today as well. The first game of the day that we're going to be kicking off here on stream is going to be Team Liquid and Virtus.Pro. And I say, well, I pause with a little bit in Virtus.Pro there because they are a team that have not looked like the avant-garde of before. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's all been said before, right? They had that massive high, and then it has just fallen apart at the seams since. And they've sort of come out and said, we didn't have the right attitude. We didn't believe in ourselves coming into these sort of games, and that's been a massive problem for them. They always looked like a team that just believed and knew that they were going to be the team that was winning. But that trust in Jame, especially as the IGL, because you look at that VP roster even, and they've got like 3 players who can call. So the trust really has to be there, and they said in interviews that they didn't necessarily trust James calling. That was leading to mistakes. They were fundamentally rejigging their entire CT side.
Maybe he got frustrated when he's saying, all right, I'm just going to save the op, guys. Maybe that was his like go-to strat. I'm just going to save. Next round, yeah, I'm saving. But no, yeah, it's got to be a little bit frustrating. And there's, like, as Tom was saying yesterday, there has to be maybe some, like, curse that Taz put on the Virtus.Pro name before they left, because it just seems like anyone that gets picked up by Virtus.Pro really starts to struggle. But I will say this is their opportunity right now, right? This is their chance to really come out the gate swinging in 2020 and start to have some good games for them. And what a way to do it with Team Liquid as their opponents, who also haven't been looking too great.
Yeah, they had a really rough blast. Obviously, FaZe took them 0-2 twice in a row, so not even being able to take a map there's always going to be a massive downer, but they've really come into Katowice with a point to prove, right? They've never won this event. They know that now Mouse Sports are getting up there as well. They're no longer just that second place team that always plays second fiddle to Astralis. They're now fighting for a top 3 place, which is obviously a massive jump down for them. So they are going to be desperate to come here to put a really strong performance in and to be beating the likes of Mouse Sports and Astralis on LAN and saying, okay, 2020 is going to be our year this year.
The year of Liquid, and they've got some phenomenal jerseys as well, which we'll see a little bit later on. We also saw Cloud9 NIP as one of our elimination matches going on today, and then we have FaZe Clan up against Renegades as our last match of the day on B Stream. It's a little bit sad, though, to see. For me, okay, the funny thing for me is, like, obviously I cast at Katowice back in 2014. I was there working in 2015. it seems like an Australian team comes to play in the event and they get knocked out in like the first 2 rounds. And I know Sponge over on the A stream right now probably knows a lot about that, unfortunately, in the Vox Seminor days. I want to see them do well. Like, obviously, with Dick Stacey coming out and Hats coming in, there's been like a new spark of life. There was some glimmers within the team yesterday, but FaZe Clan are looking so good so far this year. I don't know how that match is going to go.
Yeah, you've got to feel for them in the bracket, right? They were either facing FaZe or Na'Vi. Neither of those games you're looking at them and going...
yesterday.
Yeah, neither of those games you're looking at them and going, okay, Renegades can win this. It's put in a performance, maybe take a map. I think taking a map off of FaZe at this point would be good. I mean, we just spoke about Liquid getting 0-2'd by them twice. Yeah. If Renegades can come in, take a map, and at least put a marker down in this event, they don't want to be going out without losing a single map. That's going to cause so many issues within the team, lack of confidence. So just one map, that's all I'm asking for. Take something away from FaZe.
And of course, that's just all on the B stream that's going on. There is an A stream or the main stream as well. Let's take a look at the schedule for that if you guys want to tune into any of those matches. And there is a hell of a lot of good matches coming up. EG up against Mad Lions. God Hunden, can he come out swinging here in 2020? Astralis versus Vitality, the best player in the world versus the best team in the world going on. And then Na'Vi up against Fnatic. Like, this is like a clash of titans. This is like El Clasico to me, practically at this rate. It's the same to me almost as seeing Astralis against Team Liquid last year. There's so many good games going on, and I can't wait to see who moves through into the main event.
And you couldn't ask for better storylines either, right? Evilgenuises struggling against OG. Mad Lions, finally Hunden's got a team where his players aren't being poached after like 3 months when he starts to get some good chemistry going. Then Astralis Vitality, as you said, you've got ZywOo coming up against Device, that whole storyline that comes with it. All the games are just incredible, and you really couldn't ask for better. I mean, Na'Vi Fnatic, it's just all of those big name rosters coming out in day 2, best of 3s, and everyone, of course, wants to stick in that upper bracket and get that chance to go straight through to the semifinals.
I like how you said it. It's just day 2 as well. Day 2, when we're getting matches like this, is going to be ridiculous. But we are about to dive into our first game of the day, as we said before. Team Liquid going to be trying to show off here against Virtus.Pro, trying to bring back the plow. Let's actually take a look at the vetoes, because they are going to be coming in. And Wolfie, I think you want to predict them, if I'm not mistaken, of what maps are going to be played here, using that crystal ball of Tom's head.
That crystal ball of Tom's head. I mean, the problem with Virtus.Pro is they've got so little information, but having 0 maps on Nuke in the last 3 months with the core, that goes immediately in the ban. Liquid, of course, Train, that's a perma. That's got to go. There's no 2 questions about it. So we see that one going. And then Virtus.Pro, they have a decision, because none of their maps are particularly great, but you'd say maybe Inferno is where you want to go with it, but they could really pick anything at this point and just have a strat planned, right? Go for that boot camp, get something behind them. So we'll have to wait and see which one's going to come up for the first map of day 2. It's going to be Vertigo, so I'm sure the observers are going to be happy about that one. And it's an interesting pick as well, because Liquid have an 80% win rate on it, so it's a really weird one. But I mean, clearly Virtus think they've got some kind of strategy, some kind of anti-strat planned for Liquid.
I like how you said, good luck to our observer. I wish we had Vertigo followed up by Nuke, just so we would have like the ultimate maps that can frustrate him. I think I'll hear him pounding his desk all the way back in the production area. We do have, it looks like Mirage as our second pick, though, coming in for Liquid. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, they're 2 very good maps for Liquid. They've got an 80% on Vertigo and 83 on Mirage. So they've literally picked their 2 best maps in the last 3 months to start with straight into this series. Get onto those maps you're comfortable with early. VP now potentially looking to ban, I mean, they could ban anything. They could go for a Dust 2 ban. They could go for...
We've seen a lot of Dust 2, actually, to be fair. Like, it's if I'm not mistaken, it's like the most played map at the moment, or second most played map. No, I just remember seeing a tweet about it. Who was a Sponge put a tweet about it, how it's like the second most played map at the moment, or first. I can't remember, honestly. It's been a long couple of days. It looks like Inferno will be taken away. I'm a big fan of that. I'm very vocal about how much I dislike Inferno and how slow it plays out. I know everyone's out there like, oh, Inferno, it's the best third map of the series. For me, I kind of fall asleep on it sometimes.
It's also statistically Virtus.Pro's best map.
And they ban it.
Just gone and banned. So, I mean, I understand it as well, because Liquid, they're really good on Inferno. And then Liquid go for the Overpass ban to finish things off. That's not a map they're massively comfortable on. Similar win rate to Virtus.Pro, so that's understandable. Leaving Dust 2 to finish things off, which Virtus.Pro haven't actually won with this core. Ouch.
Well, okay, let's be honest. Like, you talked about Mirage and Vertigo already being such a strong pick for Team Liquid. Is there a chance that Virtus.Pro can take one of those 2 maps to potentially take it to a map like Dust 2, even though it's not going to favor them too well?
I mean, you have to say Vertigo. That can go either way on any given day of the week, right? Liquid, of course, they're going to be feeling confident. They've got a really good win rate on it. They clearly know their strategies on it, but it's Vertigo. And that has to put an asterisk next to it all the time because it's such a different map to anything else we see in the pool for CS. So it just creates a completely different style of play. And maybe if Virtus.Pro have gone away, they've boot camped on Vertigo, and they've come up with all these new, innovative ways to play it that Liquid haven't seen before, then potentially I see them stealing that. I'm going to go out and say there is no way they win Mirage. That's not happening. It's just not.
So even if we see some like vintage Jame potentially coming through, not going to happen in your eyes? I mean, again, it's Team Liquid. Like, obviously, you don't want to be biased, but there's a reason there is some bias within, commentating because there's teams that have been able to prove themselves time in and time out. You're not going to really, at least for instance, the Astralis Cloud9 match, you're not really going to bet against Astralis because it's Astralis, right? It's kind of the same here. I mean, Virtus.Pro haven't really been able to show much of recent times. I hope they will. I mean, I remember watching them play at Bucharest Gaming Week like 2 years ago in Romania, and they looked like decent. They looked really well. They played really well back then, but I haven't really been able to see them since the major kind of hit that stride. And I wonder what it is within the team. I wonder why things are struggling for them as a roster, and maybe we can hear about it later on, like the HLTV interview or something like that. But there's got to be something that's missing. There needs to be something that clicks within the team. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it now because you play against the potential winner of EG versus Mad Lions, or you play against the loser of that. And that doesn't bode too well for you at the moment. I mean, even Mad Lions are a formidable force.
Yeah, as this bracket always is, it's absolutely brutal. And if anything goes wrong, you are in a lot of trouble very, very quickly. For Virtus.Pro, I think getting off on the right foot is going to be essential. And for Liquid, getting something on the board early on, especially coming into Vertigo immediately, they're going to need to find that consistency to open things up. Leech has said they struggled coming back from the break for Blast Premier. So coming into Vertigo, I think getting rounds on the board early, getting that confidence in your individuals very early on is going to be crucial.
I do want to point out, by the way, look at those jerseys out of Team Liquid, the X-Men jerseys. So sick. I would love one of those. And we're going to see Team Liquid start off on the CT side, and Twist is already pushed up. He's already got one kill as well, trying to rebound off of this as Virtus.Pro is able to finally take him down. It still took a hell of a lot of bullets.
It's a nice early pick, but Twist just not quite able to make it happen with the second. And as Nitro gets dinked, this B bomb site looking a little bit vulnerable. Finally, the flank comes in. Trades, though, immediately there for Virtus.Pro as well. Adren and James still with the bomb on their backs and still haven't got to commit to this B bomb site either, right? Fast rotations on Vertigo. And it's going to be Jane with the bomb trying to make his way back around. You can see Adren just backing out of the situation as well. So Virtus.Pro, they've got time to play within this 2-on-2. And Adren thinking about this flank. Stewie looking completely the wrong way. Takes the dink, but still not taken down on 4 HP. Stewie finds the headshot. And that leaves Jane with a 1 versus 2 to contend with.
Yeah, you really got to be able to hit those with a follow-up shot, turn it into a 2-on-1, and give yourself that real strong start in the first round of the game. But here we go. James will get the bomb down. So, oh no, he actually canceled it last second, which gives an opportunity for Liquid to push him, but they're obviously going to take their time here. Allow Elige to get set up right behind James, who's just trying to rotate back in. And Elige, he's just got him trailed. He knows exactly where he is, but it doesn't seem to matter. James gets the first kill. Stewie on 4% HP, 4 health in a dream. And still at least able to keep himself alive. And the kit's down by James, so he knows he has so much time to play with.
No opportunity for Stewie to get the defuse in, and James just going to find the kill. A triple for him in the pistol round to open things up, and that's exactly what Team Liquid wouldn't have wanted, right? They needed that little bit of confidence to open things up. They took those early duels, and they were successful. I mean, that Stewie 4 HP headshot was insane, but they just can't quite find that closing round. They can't quite pincer James with a lovely headshot, and he manages to take the first round. Going to give Virtus.Pro the buy-in with the bomb as well. Forcepy's not going to be looking good for the CT side.
I mean, I'm almost having flashbacks at the moment to the Astralis match yesterday against Cloud9, where they could not pull off a second round win after taking a pistol. C9 was able to win the buy up, the force up, but Team Liquid, even with just pistols, you cannot count them out here. Virtus.Pro going for a nice little boost over the smoke as well. Trying to get some vision on towards ramp, trying to feel out if Liquid are going to get aggressive and push for anything. I do like how they have a decent stack over towards the A side as well. 3 players there, 1 on the rotated middle. So if the A hit does come through, Liquid are going to have 4 people here to help defend.
You've got plenty of presence, but the firepower still very much in favor of Virtus.Pro as now the Molotovs start to come out, clearing the sandbags, being meticulous about the hit. They know that Liquid will have forced into this second round nearly inevitably at this point. So the full execute's going to come out taking no risks at all, and Stewie completely smoked off of the bomb site. This should be a free plant for Virtus.Pro, and it's really just about how much damage the CT site can get at this point. The Molotov onto the planter's going to get a couple of ticks onto Sanji, but nothing too significant. And Liquid, they're completely locked out of the bomb site. There's an argument even to be made just to save the armor at this point, because trying to get back in this kind of situation with the lack of utility that Liquid have is going to be nearly impossible.
Yeah, no kit, no smoke to cover this off as well. James pushed up right in it. Stewie's actually defused it, but he's eventually going to be picked off by Sanji. Not able to get one onto James, and they're trying to overrun them within the site. It's going to be a 2-on-3. The time, though, is starting to tick down. Naf not quite able to connect that deagle shot there. Now Twist coming in from behind, just looking for some damage, looking for some exit kills, looking for a little bit of extra money. Maybe an SG, but he turns at the last second, and Kikert's going to get the kill, and Virtus.Pro will have that 2-0 start.
That Krieg would have been so good for the CT side as well. If Twist could have just got away with that one and given himself something to work with into round number 3, it would have been so much better. Instead, they're going to be looking down the barrel of a very rough buy. Naf picks up the P250. A Deagle comes out for a Liege, but it is severely lacking, right? They've lost 2 rounds on the trot. The T side, they're going to be looking to farm as much cash as they can through Jame on that Mac-10, try and get him towards the AWP as soon as possible. And for Liquid, again, how much damage can you do? Can you take away those Kriegs, maybe take the AK-47 with you, and it's going to be a fast, aggressive push all the way down in towards the back of the A ramp. And at Virtus.Pro, they look like they have no idea at all here. Nitro in a fantastic position, but Kicker at least able to get one before the trade. That's actually the bomb down, and there's so much presence here. Nitro grabs himself a second, and Liquid just need to not overextend here. Adren able to get one back onto a Liege, looking for more, but Stewie just ducking and diving, buying his teammates some time as Buster starts to think about this flank. And again, Nitro, no idea. That's an execution. The second comes in, and Liquid with just Twist remaining. The Deagle looking for the 1v3, able to find at least one headshot, but nothing more. And that very nearly fell apart for Virtus.Pro, but it's well recovered.
Well, you said Team Liquid looking for damage, and they get 3 kills off the back of that, and I agree. Like, if they can keep that Krieg alive and fighting, if they were able to stop Buster on the rotate, the flank from behind, that could have been easily Liquid's round. But here we go. Liquid going to be on the buy-up now. We can see the M4s across the board, the utility there to back them up with as well. And Virtus.Pro looking to stabilize their economy somehow, as Sanji's the only one above 2K at the moment.
That's a lineup and a half.
That's pretty nice.
Virtus.Pro much slower on the entrance into this one as well, just taking that slow control of mid, leaving Kicker alone towards the scaffolding, and he's going to catch Stewie with a nade out, but somehow Stewie escapes without taking a single tick of damage. So a little bit fortunate there, Liquid, to be getting away with that kind of a play early on, as Twist does just take a tag through the wood, and Sanji has managed to get very advanced in towards mid. Liquid, they've got a Liege watching this, but if he turns at the wrong second, it's going to be all over. Naf and a Liege with the crossfire, as Naf does manage to find the opening pick, and Virtus.Pro really nobody there to try and contest. Adren forced to bail out with some utility and instead head towards this B bomb site where Twist, looking like a lonely anchor, a lovely headshot to open things up, looking for more, and he's going to catch the timing as well onto Adren. It's falling apart for Virtus.Pro, and Liquid look like they're finally about to get on the board.
That was a shot, though, Adren shouldn't have missed. I mean, he had a smoke out in his hand. He ended up throwing it and still gets the realignment, just trying to, you know, hit the AD keys back and forth, trying to dodge away from the bullets. But still, Virtus.Pro with 2 players left alive, trying to barrel in towards this A site. You got Stewie and Nitro already waiting, and there's Stewie's head cleanly taken off by Kiekert. But they still have to worry about, well, the other 3 players towards the B site that could rotate back in towards A as well. They have a little bit of time to work with at least, but they need the kills.
Welcome to the Krieg meta. Kicker just absolutely ripping Stewie's head off. And Nitro's got a really nice angle here, just a couple of pixels. He'll spot the cross, resets the angle, and that's going to allow the rotations to come in. You can see a Liege supporting with the utility. Molotov onto the plant as he takes down Kicker, and he's going to grab the second as well. Nothing Buster can do. Liquid looking to improve on their success. He's getting their first round on the board, getting themselves a decent amount of rifles saved as well. Those 2 Kriegs on a Liege and Nitro could be absolutely crucial.
I'm just thinking back to the match yesterday with Fnatic Renegades and seeing Brolin and 2 other players have Kriegs and just 1 M4. It just seems kind of funny to see the CTs having so many Kriegs and so little M4s, but that's just the power we've got going on within this weapon. And now Virtus.Pro, after taking 3 rounds straight, because of the economical damage they've taken from Liquid, they can't really buy up here. They're actually going for just the pistols, a little bit of armor for Sanji. But just like that, 1 round, and it looks like Virtus.Pro on the back foot.
And that's what Liquid have always been good at doing, right? They're just constantly ticking you down, making sure no round is a freebie. You never get around cleanly with Liquid, and it keeps the economy so fragile. As Naf going to be tested early on and able to take down Sanji. And it puts Virtus.Pro in these awkward situations where they win several rounds on the back of each other. They start to build up at least a little bit of economy, and then immediately it's taken away. 1 round 1 for Liquid. They're in a fantastic position as well, saving those 2 Kriegs. And there's nothing that Virtus.Pro can do other than picking up these pistols and trying to do what Liquid have been so good at doing, trying to take a couple of rifles away, as that nade looked like it was going to do some damage, but doesn't quite land. And Virtus.Pro looking like they want to try and fake towards this B-bomb site initially. Lovely flashbang, though, and Twist going to get himself a frag. 2 players down for Virtus.Pro. How do they make this work? Mid-presence at least gathered.
Yeah, for Adren, but he's pretty much by himself. Obviously, the quick rotate back towards B if needed, but the problem is the doorway through is covered by Naf and Twist, and it's going to be so hard to penetrate this with just the pistols alone and no real utility to set up any sort of kills, and Adren will fall indeed in middle. It's now on Buster and James to push through with the Deagles. They got to hit some crazy shots, and that's the first one now done. Twist up close and personal. He's going to get the follow-up on the Buster, though. And Liquid, only losing 1 player, have a clean round. Twist gets himself a 3K, and Liquid put themselves up to 2.
And that's the difference between Liquid's full buys against half buys compared to Virtus.Pro, right? They keep 4 players up. They keep a bunch of utility. They barely have to reinvest. I mean, Eligia's spending $1,100. There's $1,200 for Stewie. Nitro has only spent $200 to get his buy into this round. And then across the board for Virtus.Pro, they're spending every penny they've got. And Adren still has to drop down on the MAC-10 to give his team the utility. And for the first time on the map, we do see James picking up the T-sided AWP, as it's going to be an early fast play in towards the staircase.
Oh, this nade wasn't successful last time, and not successful this time, unfortunately. Or did it come in a little bit later right there? Buster down to 51, so it looks like the nade did connect. Maybe I jumped the gun there. But some early damage. I mean, just like picking the way. I mean, Buster now not feeling as confident to peek any of these angles. Utility, it's going to be hurting yet again for Virtus.Pro, as you can see. Just the 1 smoke and, or sorry, the 2 smokes and the 2 flashbangs. But to get on towards any of these sites and then looking to hold after plant, like I find that so difficult to do, especially towards the A side. But Stewie gets the first on the key curt. Twist will fall, though, as Buster's been able to make his way in towards the B side. The problem is the bomb's not really in the vicinity to back this one up, so Nap could just stall for a little bit of time as the smokes go down, hoping for the rotations to come through.
James actually going to find another pick as well onto Stewie, who was looking for a flank down through towards spawn, and this has given an opportunity to Virtus.Pro. They've managed to rotate the bomb in. Nitro at least going to pick up 1, and this boost from Naf up on top of the wood could be huge. He's going to get the timing for the first and the second on the spray down. James needing a 1 versus 3 with the AWP in hand, and he's just got to try and find any kind of a peak time, at least on his side for now. The bomb dropped in the middle of the site, and he knows Naf is towards those second generators. He knows he has to clear him out initially, so the AWP going to be trying to sneak his way in, but Naf on the shoulder peak will be taken out to start things off. Trade immediate from Nitro, and that's going to be an AWP picked up. And honestly, I would have liked to see Virtus.Pro just looping back towards A there, right? You catch Stewie going for that fast flank. There's no presence on that A-bomb site. Just take the bomb back. It's on James' back. Go fast, get the plant, and play for the after-plant situation.
Yeah, it's obviously it's kind of hindsight 2020 for them, and we have the luxury of seeing the entire mini-map. But yeah, I definitely agree, and it's kind of unfortunate for Virtus.Pro because without the bomb being planted, without them getting, I guess, a couple more kills, they can't really have the money to invest into this round. I mean, they're luckily able to get quite a few in that last round alone onto Liquid, but because Liquid barely invested any money into the round prior, like you pointed out, Nitro is spending $200, they're able to fully reforce back into this one. And now happens to be getting some early kills as well, leaves Virtus.Pro with 2 men down.
Now finding the tag onto Sanji on the collateral as well. It's just putting more and more pressure on this T side. And when you've only got these half buys and you've only got pistols, you really want to be barreling into a site as a unit, not going for these isolated 1v1s, as Twist finds his 3rd frag, and that's a beautiful flash from Nitro to get it to him as well. Sanji and James, I mean, if they find even a frag or 2 at this point, it's going to be a success, right? If they can save a rifle, if they can just take something away from Liquid. But as Twist finds another onto Sanji, it's James with just a P250 to his name to try and find something. He spotted out the head of Twist, but not quite connecting with the headshots. And again, Liquid, they come out of these near enough flawless across the board, and they're saving tons of utility. So their buy is going to be really, really strong, and they're just going to be able to keep building that CT economy.
And Twist is doing, honestly, like so much damage at the B side. Even if he does fall, like the nades have been coming through, just a kill or 2 every single time. He's really punishing Virtus.Pro every time they head towards this B side, and he's not allowing them to get in cleanly. So then you look at Virtus.Pro, like what can they potentially do here to change things up, to maybe execute into a side or maybe rush into a side? And I'm not necessarily 100% sure. The A side's gonna be difficult to do with Jane with the op unless he supports, or if you get the after plant situation. But you can just see how invested Liquid are putting early smokes down to stop any sort of rush or any sort of aggression to come out of Virtus.Pro right off the bat.
Yeah, if they want to get anywhere near that bomb site, they're going to need to find some more utility to work with. As Kicker this time is going to be able to find the early pick onto Nitro. That's going to put some pressure back on Liquid. A lead caught as Sanji goes straight through the smoke, and he wasn't expecting that. So 5-on-3 now, and this is where Virtus.Pro need to make sure they convert. Buster looking for the aggression, but not quite able to spot out Twist. And for VP, this round now becomes crucial. They have to find the conversion here with Stewie and Naf alone towards this A bomb site. A two-man hold going to be near enough impossible, but the bomb actually going to make the long rotation around and try and put that pressure back onto Twist, who has completely abandoned the B bomb site at this point, looking like it could be a near enough free take for Virtus.Pro and a near enough free fourth round.
I think with the position Stewie's in, he's going to know they're not coming towards the safe site, so the rotate either going to come in or the safe potentially going to come in for Liquid, though I would imagine they're going to look to make this expensive for Virtus.Pro. Bomb going to go down now. Feels like it's been a long time since we've seen actually the bomb planted. What was it, the pistol round, if I'm not mistaken?
I think
so. And
so.
the second round as well, but that was it. And it looks like, yeah, I'm just going to be looking to save. So they have the one Krieg, the AWP, and the M4. And they have a lot of money behind this as well, but there's no need to like throw anything away. There's no need to give Virtus.Pro a little bit of extra money anyways. And then just go for the economy break yet again in the round coming up.
Yeah, I would have liked to see maybe one player getting aggressive, maybe Twist, because that economy is so fragile for Virtus.Pro. But I can understand the save as well. Taking that B-bomb site with a three-man hold isn't going to be easy at all. So rather just keep the Krieg, the AWP, keep that firepower heading into the next round, because it's Vertigo, right? Anything can happen in any given round. So VP going to be able to keep 5 players alive, and that's important for them as well. Start to build up that T-sided economy. They're only going to have to reinvest into the utility. And as they finally get around from the bomb going off, and Buster, that's a performance and a half, but look at Twist and Nitro.
Yeah, amazing. Like 242 ADR between the two. I mean, Buster, he has been able to open up a couple of entry frags for his team so far. So is Kicker and even Sanji a couple of times here or there. But they need to do it again, right? They need to be able to win this round again, do it relatively cleanly. Then they can start to really build some momentum, try to break the economy out of Liquid. They're picking up the pace, catching out Twist right off the bat. Adren setting up Buster, and he knocks him down. Virtus.Pro with the man advantage now, but can they maintain this? Can they make this the clean round they need?
That's exactly what they needed to start things off. Buster with excellent utility usage to put out Twist's early Molotov. The flash comes over the top from Adren, and Twist completely out in no man's land, no support at all, and it's going to split the CT defense as well. It's going to cause some early rotations, and currently Nitro is actually completely alone on this A-bomb site as Stewie looks to rotate in towards mid. And this is your problem for the CT side. On a map like Vertigo, you can't re-aggress, you can't take map control back. You're basically just hemmed further and further back into the site until an execute comes through. And as Virtus.Pro start to make their way in, Kicker and Sanji actually going to take a lot of nade damage to open things up, and that's going to allow a rotation to start to come through from Stewie, but completely smoked out at the bomb site. And the bomb, is it going to commit? It's starting to make its way up the ramp. Yeah, there we go.
One thing I'm concerned with is that Virtus.Pro only have one smoke now. They have a hell of a lot of flashbangs, don't get me wrong, but there's still 3 Molotovs left for Liquid. And playing the afterplant with one smoke is going to be a little bit difficult. You can see now Adren trying to be spammed out. He's tied down to 52 HP, and again, some decent damage. No kill! I thought that was going to actually connect onto Jane because he was just slightly off the angle. Now, Virtus.Pro have taken a lot of chip damage before we've seen any kills come through.
How do you get back into this bomb site on a 5v4 retake? That bomb ticking down as well. Liquid looking to up the pace, but it's Sanji who finds first blood. Nitro at least able to trade onto Jane, but there's so many more frags to be found, and as time starts to run out, Sanji on the off angle going to find more and more. Naf finally comes in with a frag, but this round is all but done. The AWPer desperately trying to escape all the way back into spawn. As Virtus.Pro, they'll have their lead again, and the problem for Liquid, they're just losing too many players in the early picks, right? They lose Twist early, and then that causes this massive rotation. 2 players have to make their way towards the B bomb site, and then you just haven't got the presence on A to hold off when it's a 5-man hit from VP.
I would imagine Twist isn't going to fall that early anytime soon again. I mean, not expecting the smoke with the flashbang to follow up with. I mean, would you really expect it in that kind of position for them to counter you so perfectly? But now he's got the op in hand, so we're seeing the double op setup come in for Team Liquid. Him and Stewie together. Twist, I mean, I wonder if they're just going to kind of leave him to himself over at the B site once they get him set up and tucked away nice and neat. Jame going to be on the op still. He's able to maintain it from the round prior. And we're seeing the 2 Kriegs come in with the 2 AKs as well. And one thing Virtus.Pro have been able to do, I think, relatively well in the rounds they've won is something I was talking about with Cloud9 yesterday, is that they're setting each other up really well with flashbangs, as you saw in that last round alone. Adren setting up Buster perfectly for that first kill.
Yeah, and it goes back to what they said. They tried to mess with their setups when they went past that major and of course had that massive run, but it's going to be Stewie out in no man's land again with that AWP taken out immediately by Sanji, and that's just putting the pressure straight back onto Liquid, losing the early pick yet again. Nitro completely isolated on this bomb site, smokes and flashes all around, can't look the right way, still manages to pivot for the first before the trade comes through from Kicker, but again, the bomb site is given up. The smokes and the utility for Virtus.Pro make it so difficult for Liquid to even think about a retake. They get a little bit of chip damage through that smoke, but 4-on-3, more Molotovs coming through from VP, and that's just buying more time for the T side.
This looks like it almost has to be a save. You really have the money to buy up in the round. Maybe look for a kill or two. They're actually going to push straight through this here. Now tries to get around the smoke, trying to push out Jane, which they do force him out of the position. The problem is there's still so many other players left alive here on the side of Virtus.Pro. Now going to charge potentially straight into Keekert, looking for the bomb, trying to pull off a defuse here as he's by himself now. But immediately going to look to run away, and Keekert's going to close him out. And Virtus.Pro going to be up 2 rounds now at 6-4.
Definitely looks like they boot camped Vertigo, to say the least. They are looking very proficient on it. The utility's good across the board. They got that really nice read onto Twist's aggression, so that's not working out anymore. And that's where most of Liquid's rounds have stemmed from so far, right? They've got Twist aggressive. He's found an opening pick. Then when they've got the man advantage, they just need to trade and convert. When they're going into the 5-on-4 with a man down, Liquid are not finding consistency, and it's going to put them back onto the eco now. Just picking up some upgraded pistols. The Deagles, of course, never write Liquid off, but James going to help himself to a freebie as Elite looks to get aggressive into mid.
Yeah, and credit to Virtus.Pro here. Like, they've been able to consistently do damage against Liquid, obviously winning the last couple of rounds. They've been able to punish them. I don't know. I don't know if it's Virtus.Pro punishing them or Liquid making some like slight errors or slight overconfidence as they were getting aggressive when maybe their money wasn't in the good position for it. Like in the last round alone, they had 3 players left alive. They didn't have the money. They could have potentially have saved those. They decided to go in for it and get aggressive. I'm not sure exactly why.
Almost feels like it's the frustration coming out from Liquid, right? They're constantly getting locked out of that A-bomb site by the smokes, the mollies, the flashes. They want to be able to pull off the retake, so they give it a crack all the same, and then it goes so badly wrong. They barely find a frag, and it's just so nicely cleaned up by VP that it puts them in a really awkward situation coming into this one. And with the money as it is now for Virtus.Pro, they are really starting to build up a head of steam. The plow has been engaged, and Stewie with a huge job to do here down towards the A-ramp. Pop Flash going to force him off his early angle, but he can't find the shot. Kicker able to take him out, and again, the pistol's just being thinned down by Virtus.Pro. 3 players remaining for Liquid, and the push, again, is going to come relatively freely into this A-bomb site. Naf looking for a cheeky angle, but it's not going to happen. And Nitro and Twist, they've got a Deagle and a P250. This retake is not happening.
Not at all. I mean, maybe get a kill, maybe save a weapon, but look at Virtus.Pro's economy. I mean, you got 6K on Keekert, 8K on Buster. It'd be nice to recover like a Krieg or something like that. We have to hit some crazy shots, and Sanji's already able to take down Nitro. So Twist by himself. Virtus.Pro going to go up to 7 now on the T side of Vertigo. And then there's a lot of questions surrounding like what kind of Virtus.Pro would show. I mean, to be fair, there's questions about Fnatic as well, considering they haven't really played in a long time. Team Liquid, you mentioned before, the previous performance at Blast. It seems like Virtus.Pro have been kind of able to show us now what performance they're bringing to Katowice.
And show us why they picked Vertigo as well. I was perplexed by that pick, but they are looking very good on it indeed. And Liquid going to be using their first time out here to try and work out what they want to do. The economy not in the greatest of positions for them, so they're going to be able to buy into this one, but it really is starting to feel like do or die time in this first half for Liquid. Their CT side starting to stumble after a 4-round string, but after that, they've just found absolutely nothing. Nitro and Twist still over 100 ADR, just propping up the stats for Liquid, but I mean, you look at Elige, Stewie, and Nafra, they're players you don't expect to be performing that badly. Stewie 3-8, Elige 2-7. Those aren't numbers you expect to be associated with these players.
And if we look at like the change up in strategy for Virtus.Pro, it seems to be, all right, let's stop going B and just go A. like to be honest, like Twist, he was like 10-2, he was like 131 ADR, and now he's been kind of controlled a little bit because they're just not engaging him. They're not actually going towards his direction. They were obviously able to punish him in a round prior with the smoke and the flashbang combo through his Molotov, but it's just go A, punish Stewie, punish anyone that's there, maybe look for an early kill, and then just work off of that.
It's the ZywOo solution, right? Just don't go where he is,
Yeah,
and then you
just
might
avoid
win
him.
the round. Exactly. So Liquid again going to go for the double AWP setup. Makes the retakes very difficult, but they're going to be looking for the opening pick. Stewie on a slightly off angle. Naf on towards the B-bomb site, but Twist going to get punished again, trying to get aggressive down those stairwell, but Buster just reading him like a book to find the opening pick. And again, Liquid put in a very awkward situation. Naf alone on this B-bomb site, aware that mid is completely open for the CT side. He's going to have to bail out, and Virtus.Pro have got every angle they could ever wish for at this point, right? They've got mid control, they've got players heading up the staircase towards B, and Naf has got a huge job to do here on the AWP towards the generators, trying to get aggressive, will be able to pick up the first pick, but he needs to stay alive. He's allowing the rotations to come in as you see Evilgenuises starting to join him, and perhaps Liquid can finally get back on the board. Naf catches Sanji in midair. Buster only able to trade for one before he's taken out, and with the bomb dropped on generators in a 3v2, Liquid finally looking like they might find their fifth.
There was no smoke to block him off. There was nothing to actually like take away these sightlines they can use with this AWP. They had one flashbang which they threw in, and that didn't work out for them. And now Virtus.Pro were just running into a brick wall of Liquid, which I guess technically is like a body of water. Which is, I mean, it's painful at high velocities, all right? And Evilgenuises able to take down Keykurt. Now James alone against 3, and he's going to fall as well. And even with the early kill on a twist, like that set them up perfectly to get into the site, but with Naf just holding on with the op, hitting those shots, delaying them, and with no smoke to actually like cross into sight, Virtus.Pro just fell apart.
Yeah, and we saw exactly why Liquid are opting to go for this double AWP setup in that round. Naf is just able to find frag after frag. There's no utility usage coming out from Virtus.Pro to stop him looking at that angle and stop him just peeking into them. But they're going to go for a fully scoped buy here. 4 Kriegs in the AWP out onto James, so perhaps looking to play Liquid at their own game and go for some early picks here and just try and play the passive angles as Stewie. He's going to opt to go aggressive again. Naf gets one, but it's an immediate trade by Adren, so one of those AWPs lost in the opening engagement, and the pressure's going to be back onto Twist.
I thought we were playing Counter-Strike, not Call of Duty, with everyone ADSing here. With the 1-for-1 trades you mentioned before, they at least take down Naf, which was such a key component to that last round for Liquid to win. But still, Twist is alive, and if Twist can kind of find his former form within the series, it's still going to be a very difficult site to penetrate. Dren goes in, he gets the kill as well. He's starting to build in some confidence here. Only 4 kills, but still, that was a massive one to get, leaving the B side open, forcing the rotations to come through, and the rest of Virtus.Pro looking to push into Stewie, and Stewie gets the first, backs away as well. Someone's going to need to take this man down and have a chance to get in towards the A site, and they're just not going to have it. James now trying to jump up over the sandbags, looking for his own shot, and now he's alone against 3, and Liquid again have held strong.
Stewie's pick was crucial there as Evilgenuises just finishes things off because the rotations were starting to come through towards B. Stewie gets that pick. That's bombed down on the A ramp. You can see Liquid just panic mode engages right there, all rotating around towards A. The support is there for the AWP. If Stewie doesn't find that pick, that round is all but done. Liquid able to get their 6th on the board, keep that double AWP setup going as well, which has been working out well for them now as they're starting to reel Virtus.Pro in.
We're seeing almost the full scope buy for Virtus.Pro this time, just the AK for Buster. And you're 100% right, Stewie really becoming the king there in that round to keep it alive for them after Twist falling. So he's going to continue to get aggressive, and the aggression hasn't really worked out for him if we think back to prior rounds, right? He's fallen a couple of times to people pushing up close against him when he wasn't expecting it, but now it seems to have found his footing as he takes down Keykurt, backs away, and it's an early 2-man advantage for Liquid.
Nitro's second pick there, just making life a little bit easier, and it's actually allowing Evilgenuises to get super aggressive down the ramp, putting the pressure back onto Virtus.Pro, and seems like giving Stewie free reign with that AWP is really starting to work out. He's just roaming the map at the moment as Evilgenuises grabs another, and Buster and Adren, with the economy as it is for Virtus.Pro, could be forgiven for going for the save with 1 minute and 5 left on the clock, but really seeing some of the advantages of Liquid's, I don't like the phrase, but role-less play. They allow anybody to pick up anything and sort of play how the map dictates. And Stewie, he's picked up the AWP and he's coming off huge. Naf, of course, a consistent AWPer, and he's got the angle on lock as Buster looks to make his way in. So the AWP's really doing all the work. Stewie grabs himself another. Naf finds the tag and looks to finish things off onto Buster, and Liquid looking to go absolutely flawless in round number 14, getting the 7th on the board, and the pressure is really starting to mount on Virtus.Pro.
Well, now they go into the last round of the half with about 2K apiece across the board for them. So not the best of buys for them. Not a bad start considering the Virtus.Pro we've seen as of recent times. Definitely not the start you want to see coming into Katowice. You're 2 best of 3s away from being knocked out. And you're also, I think, 2 best of 3s away from being put straight into the semifinals. So a lot on the line here for these teams. This is their first match of the tournament. We'll be getting into some winners and some loser matches later on today. Or I guess I should say elimination matches. There you go, Virtus.Pro picking up the pace of Dren, getting full control of middle right off the bat. I actually kind of like this because they haven't really gone mid too much as Liquid is able to put their foot down. Not though going to get overrun here, looking to back away with a nice use The Incendiary to hold them off.
He's bought his teammates some time as well. The rotation's coming in for the Legion. Nitro into CT, traded 1 for 1 by Jane, but Nitro going to be able to come in with that recovered Krieg. A quick double kill, bomb all the way down in CT spawn. And Kicker and Buster, the plan looked good. They were going to try and go quickly, overwhelm the AWPs, and they so nearly did. Naf just with the utility usage to get away from that early situation. And then Liquid stabilized really nicely. A couple of quick frags come through. Nitro with a really well-controlled spray down on the Krieg. Leaves Kicker and Buster just trying to recover. I mean, they've got to go for it because it's a 4-on-2 in the last round of the first half, but they've only got a CZ and a Deagle, right? Naf is absolutely locking that B-bomb site down. The bomb is all the way down in spawn. It's certainly looking like Liquid will get the lead as they go into the end of this first half.
Well, one glimpse of hope for Virtus.Pro is the fact that Nitro and Naf are both really low on HP, so it could quickly turn into a 2-on-2 if they can just hit their shots. But speaking of hitting shots, Naf's going to do just that. Keekert now alone against 4. And it looks like this will be Team Liquid taking the first half victory and going to the T side with an 8-7. 25 seconds left for Keekert. Hoping someone's going to push him, hoping Liquid are going to give him an advantage somehow. And unfortunately, not able to connect the shot. So there we go. Liquid end the half at 8-7 after a rocky start for Virtus.Pro. Let's see how the second half breaks down after this short break.
They're looking at us, an audience. Keep telling us what we can do, but here we are, showing them, making them wish they were you. We've heard the most when it comes to this. Yeah, every shade of blue, but don't even care what they all say. I think we're out of control. Yeah, truth be told, we know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. It's just the way we live. We know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. 'Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids. We're grown-up kids.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I'm savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at. And that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting a blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, not everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now.
I fell apart when I saw you look at me that way. It broke my heart to see. It was a moment of darkness, a moment in time that I regret for being so heartless. It was a moment of darkness. Moment of darkness. I fell apart when I saw you look at me that way. It broke my heart to see.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2020 Master Championship. It's day 2 here of the event, and this is the B stream, or I like to call it the side stream. I don't think there's anything B about us. We're just as important as everyone else out there, despite what some people might say on Reddit. But anyways, we're into our Team Liquid versus Virtus.Pro match. I don't know where I was going with that one. Currently, Team Liquid do have the lead at 8-7. Not the lead I was necessarily expecting, though Virtus.Pro did show some good signs of life. But again, some individual plays out of out of Team Liquid, thinking of Naf in particular, Stewie as well, hitting some really good op shots on the CT side, did net them that first half victory.
Yeah, it looked like Liquid was slow to start again, right? They have been at these events. They've said that when they come into their first match of every event, they tend to be a little bit slow to kick off, and they were. But then as soon as it felt like the ball started to roll, things just went right. Stewie was hitting shots, Naf was hitting shots, Elige was there, and the rotations felt really good as well from Liquid. Vertigo's one of those maps where it can be so difficult to get that working, and once they did, it just looked so smooth.
Yeah, and of course we do have Mirage to come up as our second map when we get to it, and potentially Dust 2 if we need that third and final map for the series. We're actually about to hop right back into the game. We had some technical issues, I think one of the players' PCs, but we are back into it with Team Liquid now on the T side and Virtus.Pro on the CT.
And Liquid, I mean, they've got to get off to a good start again. That first pistol round, just not quite good enough for my liking from Liquid, so I want to see them going early on, breaking the skylights to fake that there's going to be some utility coming through them, but instead going to be going straight up towards that A ramp, no messing about from this T side whatsoever, and a Vanguard, Virtus.Pro, I'm going to get that right once on this broadcast. Virtus.Pro actually going really aggressive towards that B bomb site, already thinking about the flanks, and a really passive play coming in towards A, so a little bit of a mix-up here on the CT side, trying to something a little bit innovative, as it's going to be Sanji first through, but look at Naf. He is absolutely trained on this, and this is going to be all about the timing. Naf actually just starting to back off, and the ranged engagement coming through. Sanji not quite able to connect as the early dinks go the way of Liquid, and Naf on the hold, on the corner. It's going to be a free bomb plant as he's traded 1-for-1 by James, so Bomb at least able to go down, and it's going to be a 4-on-4 hold for Liquid as the fast push still trying to come in, and Jane gets another. He's been huge on these pistol rounds. Elige spotted as he rounds the corner, but does he know there's someone behind him as Stewie finds another, and finally Liquid start to stabilize.
That looked a little bit awkward. I was surprised to see Liquid not watch their flanks a little bit more once Naf did fall, considering he spotted out 3-4 players. Hickert, though, able to chime back in. He's alone against 2. No kit in hand at the moment. And, well, no HP left either, as Liquid do take the pistol round in a very risky affair, surviving with 2 players.
That's an innovative way to play a pistol on the CT side. One man towards the A bomb side.
We don't want to play retake. We want to play the T side of it. We're just pushing from ramp.
We'll just push them as they're pushing us. And honestly, if they'd been able to buy like a couple more seconds from that passive A-hold, that round could have gone completely differently. They just needed to hold on for a little bit longer, but unfortunately not quite able to do so. And with the CT economy as it is in the current meta, going to be looking at a very slim buy. 0 investment default pistols across the board, and I'm sure Naf and Twist are going to be happy to try and farm some economy here.
They got to be able to find it first, though. Virtus.Pro, I think they're taking some time to talk things over, going for a big save. And I kind of like this. I like, I like how teams like use this like second round where they don't buy up, just to use as like a temporary pause, talk some things over, feel some things out. Really trying to understand the way Liquid want to play this T side. And again, I mean, thinking back to the way Virtus.Pro are playing T side themselves, like once they I guess they realized what the real threat was, which was Twist at the moment, over towards the B side, they just started avoiding him, and it started to work out for them time and time again. It took some individual play out of Stewie to really halt them at the A site. And now Liquid need to kind of find the same route here. Once Liquid are able to buy up, where do they want to avoid? Where do they want to hit? But again, if you guys are just joined us, this is the B stream. We still have the main stream as well, where Mad Lions are up against Evilgenuises. They are playing on Vertigo as well, with Dust2 to follow up with. And the last time I checked, it was 11-4 in favor of Evilgenuises. So not necessarily the score I'd expected, to be fair, considering the recent rise of Mad Lions.
I can see it though, especially with Hunden's playstyle on a map like Vertigo. I can see it going very wrong.
You mean
very
God
quickly.
Hunden?
God Hunden, yeah, Hunden. I can see it going wrong very quickly as Liquid. They're just going to clean things up here, make sure they farm that economy. Naf's going to be first one through on the Mac 10, finding a few frags before Nitro finishes things off. And interesting thing there was when Evilge was facing off against the USPS, he looked like he had no idea that angle even existed. He was just getting dinked and nothing was coming through in response. Like, not quite sure what happened, but Liquid, they get their double digits on the board nonetheless, and James immediately going to be going onto that AWP to try and form some kind of a resistance for Virtus.Pro.
Going for the glass cannon for him. He's going to need to hit some shots. He's going to have an impact here, I think, for the round, because the utility is massively lacking for Virtus.Pro to delay any sort of push to come in out of Liquid. You have a hell of a lot of smokes, but again, time is going to play such a key factor here. James not able to quite hit that first shot, though, unfortunately. Connects onto Evilge, I believe that was as well, though, through the wall. Some damage done, though. At least a little bit of an upside for him. And so far, Virtus.Pro have been able to maintain all 5 of these smokes, so they're able to drag them later into the round to potentially hold off or potentially play for a retake towards the safe side if that's the route they decide to play.
Yeah, that little jump from James really put him off, I think, and the scroll wheel jump bind coming out to haunt him as Liquid. They get that ramp control. All 5 players still alive, although Evilge has taken a chunk of damage as well on that Galil, and this is looking all right for a Virtus.Pro so far. They've got the map control to work with. The utility really hasn't been a problem so far. They've still got 3 smokes if they need to plan a retake onto one of these bomb sites, and Liquid happy just to sit back and wait at the moment, and really lacking in the information as now the execute starts to come through, but it's Kicker to draw first blood onto Stewie, and he's still alive in towards short. Finding another dink onto Nitro before he's taken down is going to make it so much easier for his teammates as Adren capitalizes. And 4-on-3, make that 3-on-3. The Liquid, the trades are just too good for Virtus.Pro. And Naf, he's got the Krieg, but he's going to need a 1v3 here as he's slowly sneaking his way towards this bomb site.
Looks like he's just going to chill in the smoke for now. Sanji actually repositioning, backing in towards CT spawn a little bit more. Trying to hold some. We expect Naf to be that close, and well, it doesn't seem to matter as he gets the kill nonetheless. 3 kills for him in the round, and Virtus.Pro will take their first gun round here on the CT side. I was a little bit worried though for Virtus.Pro because utility was a little bit lacking, but they had no kit. So if they were going to play retake, they had to do it fast, but they didn't have any flashbangs left to like actually force the issue, to force out a fight. So I guess if they were going to hold on to that site, they had to defend it and not actually let the bomb go down and play for the afterplant. But it works out for them. James also keeps his op into the next round, more importantly. And Liquid, well, they're going to be on the save.
Starts to put a little bit of pressure back on Liquid on the T side of things. They're going to go for a few upgraded pistols, but again, nothing significant. P250 for Evilge, couple of Deagles for Stewie and Twist, and to be fair, you wouldn't want them in the hands of anybody else, would you? As they start to take that same ramp control. Again, a 5-man commit, and that's Virtus.Pro getting aggressive over towards the B bomb site. You can see it on the minimap. James and Kicker, they're just completely clearing their way down there, so they know this is an A-hit at this point. They know that there's no presence towards the B bomb site, so Adren going to swing and grab a bit more information. Lovely nade comes in over the top as he finds the opening pick, and the spray down is going to be good. Finds himself a quick triple. Twist at least able to get 1 back, but the trades are just too good for Virtus.Pro at this point, and they are just cleaning up house. Sanji not even bothering to scope in on the Krieg as he finds 1 more and leaves Evilge on this ramp with a P250, spotting out the flank from behind at the very least, but time is running out for him. He's being pincered from absolutely everywhere. Buster not even going to go blind as he finds the frag, and it's a nice cleanup again. Just the 1-man loss for Virtus.Pro, and that's going to be important as these rounds pan out.
Yeah, very important indeed. Like, they need to make sure to have this op for Jane. We saw how important it was to have an op on the CT side for Liquid before. I wonder if they're actually going to go for double op setup potentially down the line if they do stabilize their economy a little bit more. But now we're seeing Liquid buy up yet again. Naf going to be relegated to the MAC 10. Nitro on the Galil. 2 Kriegs. I'm happy you say Krieg, by the way. Because that means you're a 1.6 player in my eyes.
Never played it.
What? Okay, well now I'm disappointed.
I'm too young for 1.6, man.
How old are you?
21.
10 years older than you. Ugh. Anyways. Wait, did you play Source at least?
A little.
Okay, a little bit of respect back. I played Source too. Well, James gonna be forced out of middle with the Molotov. I'm looking to potentially pull off like a close proximity fight if he can against James if he misses the shot, though James doesn't miss too often, to be fair. It seems like most of the movement out of Liquid are going to be over towards the safe site yet again. They've really not gone towards B, to be fair, like pretty much at all, I feel like.
They really haven't put any pressure there either. There's been no presence. There's been nobody there to even sell the fake. It's just been, we are going to keep going up this A ramp until it works. And thus far, they've been having a lot of trouble. The Virtus.Pro holds have been good so far, and the nades have been good as well, as Elise just takes a little bit of chip damage, makes him a little more vulnerable to those M4s. And Virtus.Pro, they look like they've got this absolutely set. 3 players in towards this A bomb site as the push starts to come in from Liquid, and with no picks at all to work with, they know they have to find something soon if they want to get into this bomb site.
I think they know Keeker's here as well as he ran by. The smoke actually not covering off. Gets a nice little angle to use from this one, and he escapes as well with 81 HP left. The problem is they've lost a player in sight, but he's able to get around the corner and stop the bomb from being planted. Sanji, I don't think he's going to go over the top to stop this one. They're going to play for the after plant. They're all coming from the same angle here. Two smokes to use for them. Not to mention a man advantage, a 2-man advantage. As Busters pretty much comes in and swings away with his gun. And James closes it out to tie things up now at 10 apiece.
That's such a nice retake again from VP. 3 quick frags just taking players down on the site as Liquid honestly looked a little bit confused about what the plan was there, peeking out of angles, giving their lives up a little bit too easily. That A-bomb site is traditionally very hard to retake for the CT side, but Virtus.Pro making it look incredibly simple, keeping themselves a couple of Kriegs for good measure as well, as Liquid again down on that half by 3 smokes, 2 flashes, and finally is it time for them to pressure the B-bomb site.
I do want to say though, at least in that last round, like Virtus.Pro didn't have to work for that retake.
Yeah.
Like they just got angles and shot. They didn't have to smoke flash for each other. They didn't have to push in. It was just Liquid just facing them in a lot of aspects. But yeah, the B site, maybe that's a possibility for Liquid to penetrate and potentially get a bomb down. But James already able to shut things down onto Naf. Again, it's just pistols. Still some confidence built up for him is definitely going to make the Virtus plow come back.
It's looking real.